Good afternoon, and welcome to your Weld County District 6 School Board special meeting. Ms. Maria, I'd like to call this meeting to order, and would you join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And hello, if you guys will be patient with me, I'm Steve Hall, and I'm filling in for Roger DeWitt, who happens to be on an excursion in Arizona, but he's with us telephonically. So thank you, and I'd like to welcome each and every one of you here. Ms. Maria, could we have the roll call, please?
Mr. DeWitt?
Present.
Mr. Haefele?
Present.
Mr. Hall?
Present.
Mr. Lydiak?
Present.
Ms. Pappas?
Present.
Dr. Richard?
Present.
Mrs. Solis?
Present.
7 members are present.
First order of business is the approval of the agenda, and it's an action item, and I will accept a motion at this time.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Being moved and seconded, any further discussion? Ms. Maria?
Mr. DeWitt?
Yes, Roger.
Aye.
Mr. Haefele?
Aye.
Mr. Hall?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
And the motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Ms. The item of business under board priorities is for the board to consider, Board of Education considering action on the vetting 15H well pad at Bella Romero. And so at this point, do I have a motion or on an item for submission?
I move that the Board of Education accept the letter as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Being moved and seconded, is there any discussion? John?
I would like to amend the letter, and I'd like it to say that we would like to thank Extractor Minerals for working with the district so closely and their willingness to consider our concerns and the safety of our students.
Second.
Okay. So is there a motion to amend?
I move, or I make a motion to amend the letter to state the following.
You second?
Second.
Being moved and seconded, any further discussion in regards to Mr. Hastings' motion? Carried.
So John, with your amendment, are you, could you just repeat it? Could you just repeat that amendment?
Sure. I'd like to thank Extractor for doing a great job of working with us and listening to our concerns and being concerned about our students and their safety and their educational opportunities.
So as a closing statement?
Yeah, and I will allow somebody else to put it appropriately in the letter, but I just would like that to be publicly stated.
Thank you.
Extraction, oil, and gas.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Do we need to read this for the record, the letter that we want to, we're going to submit?
Yes, we do. Would you read it?
Great.
Okay. Would you read the original letter into the record, John?
I will. June 21st, 2016, to the Weld County Board of Commissioners. The Board of Education of Greeley-Evans School District 6 is elected to oversee the largest school district in Weld County. Our responsibility is to educate, engage, and serve the more than 21,000 students who attend our schools. As stated in Innovation 2020, the outline of the District 6 strategic plan, we value and believe in the importance of healthy and safe schools. In fulfilling this responsibility, the District 6 Board of Education respectfully submits concerns with the vetting of 15-H well pad proposed near the site of Bella Romero Academy 4A to campus, located at 1400 East 20th Street. The board asks the Will County Board of Commissioners to consider mitigation measures that will address safety and concerns. The primary concern of the school district, is truck and other heavy equipment traffic, and from this side on Cherry Avenue and East 24th Street, which could create a serious safety issue for the students and families who walk to and from the school from residential areas between First Avenue and Cedar Avenue and East 24th Street and East 25th Street. A significant number of school-aged children live in this area, and for some, walking is preferred over district-provided transportation. Because of existing safety issues in the area, District 6 does offer and provide transportations to students at Bella Romero Academy 4A campus, but some students and families will still choose to walk. Since there is no sidewalk on Cherry Avenue, increased truck and heavy equipment traffic in that location could create an additional safety hazard for those walking to Bella Romero Academy K4 campus from those neighborhoods. It is our understanding pipeline for transportation of product and electricity have been secured at this site and will help mitigate noise and traffic in the area. It is our hope this will be a condition of this proposal. If this development is to be approved, the Board of Education is asking the Board of Commissioners to consider one or more of the following actions to mitigate the potential danger to students and their families along Cherry Avenue. Bullet 1, delay action on this proposed development until a comprehensive traffic study is completed and the Colorado Department of Transportation rules on the request made by the developer to access US 34 for truck traffic from the project. Bullet 2, require the developer, Extraction Oil and Gas, to limit any and all truck and heavy equipment traffic to and from the site to hours that would have the least likelihood of foot traffic on Cherry Avenue, avoiding at least 1 hour prior to the start of school and 2 hours after school is dismissed. Bullet 3, require the developer, Extraction Oil and Gas, to construct a pedestrian sidewalk along the west side of Cherry Avenue from East 20th Street south to East 24th Street. The Board of Education also respectfully asks the Board of Commissioners to ensure other safety measures if this site is approved, including adequate fencing to keep students from entering the site, emission controls, berms, and landscaping to reduce noise, and other measures to limit the impact on Bella Romero students, families, and staff. Thank you for your consideration of this request. Respectfully, Board of Education, Will County School District 6.
Thank you, Mr. Hafley. And just as an item of clarification, motion 1 deals with the letter as written. Motion 2 would deal with the letter with Mr. Hafley's amendment.
And I would recommend that Mr. Hafley actually write that language that he would like included, or, and
I
so that.
wrote a draft. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, what'd you write? Hey.
The last paragraph would now read, "We would like to thank Extraction Oil and Gas for working so closely with District 6 and for taking into consideration the safety and education of our students."
I might suggest we add the word their responsiveness. I've asked multiple questions over the last several days, and they've been very responsive in responding to my questions and getting information to me so that I could get that information to the board. So if we could add the word, their responsiveness, and are you comfortable with that, Mr. Hafley?
Great. Mr. Ludiak?
Yes, I just wanted to make a few comments, kind of recapping some of what we were discussing during the work session in and around what it is and why we want, this message to go forward to the commissioners. A few things, and I'm sure other board members will articulate this much better than I will, but, I do appreciate Extraction Oil and Gas reaching out to the district early on and being a partner in this. But with that said, things were moving quite rapidly here within the last few weeks with this approval going forward to the commissioners tomorrow. And just to recap, there's things as a board member and a Board of Education that, we are concerned about and take very seriously regarding our students and our schools, and that is in regards to safety and the learning environment and just, you know, some of the news that we got today during our work session from Extraction Oil and Gas was very positive in and around the securing of the electricity to reduce the noise, but even more importantly, the pipeline. And then to understand why it is that they're advocating for with CDOT to access US 34 to hopefully potentially eliminate any kind of traffic issues are concerned in and around Bella Romero. So I just wanted to go on record for saying that, appreciating that, so.
Ms. Solis.
And I just wanted to add that although our students are our responsibility during the school year and we do everything we can to protect them and keep them safe, it is going to be a challenge in the summertime. We as a community are going to have to make sure that we are paying attention to what's going on. In the summertime, a lot of these kiddos go play at the playgrounds. And so that is going to be an issue that we're going to have to make sure that we pay attention to.
Mr. Hafley.
I think that I appreciate the fact that we've listened to so many different entities, and I think that we're representing our students and their families who might not be as politically active and astute as different areas in the community, and I think that it's important for us to voice the importance to everybody involved.
Ms. Richards?
As we've talked a lot during the strategic planning process, that idea of student safety has been a key element of that. And I think this is an action by the board that is appropriate and justified and is certainly part of our role as a Board of Education to talk on the behalf of our students.
Any further? Mr. DeWitt, do you have any comments?
I just wanted to express my appreciation for the opportunity to discuss the role that the board has with respect to this land use, and respect also that we have limited options in terms of interacting. I think our motion and our e-motion associated with transportation and the safety of our children has been consistent since over the months that we've been meeting with the Extraction Oil. And it makes me very, very pleased to have this letter available, or a similar letter, to express that to those involved in forwarding this land use. Thanks.
I would like to offer a third motion for consideration. I believe that we should strike the number 1 bullet item, which is delay action on the proposed development until comprehensive traffic study is completed and the Colorado Department of Transportation rules on the request made by the developer to access US Highway 34 truck traffic for this project. I think it's a bit redundant. The developer is trying to get them, has filed the permits to move forward and make that 34 access. They've filed it in good intent and with the DOT. The DOT does what the DOT wants to do, and they have their procedures. And what I would suggest is that we all put pressure or communicate with DOT to encourage their approval of that permit, of that access for this project, and not to delay action on the part of the developer. It's a good faith effort that the developer made to move ahead with that, and I don't think they should be penalized for it.
So, Mr. Hall, does your amendment include Mr. Hafley's amendment?
It would.
Okay.
It would include his and strike number 1. Ms. Pappas.
Well, while I agree with you, it sounds like there's been good faith in that this has been, Extraction Oil has applied for this and has talked to CDOT. One reason I think it's important for us to keep it in is because we've given, in our statement prior to the bullets, we say to consider one or more of the following actions. So we're not saying you have to delay it, we're just asking them respectfully, as we've said in the letter, to delay action until this can be resolved. And because it's in 3 bullets, and we're just asking for 1 or more, so I would think that that would be appropriate since we have more options than just 1.
Okay. Mr. Lydiak?
Just reaffirming the establishment of Robert's Rules of Order. There's a motion, but there hasn't been a second. So there's no reason
Sorry.
for discussion at this moment.
Second. No. Did you second?
Okay. So, any further discussion?
Well, there's no second.
There's no,
Pardon me?
There's no second. Nobody seconded.
Okay.
So we're
All right.
still we're back to the 2 motions.
Okay. Okay. So, we'll call a vote on motion 1, correct? Dr., do you have anything else you'd like to do before I say? Okay. So, Ms. Perea, roll call?
Mr. DeWitt?
I'm afraid I have to just dive in with a point of question. The vote that we're taking now is for the original unamended letter, is that correct?
That's correct. Let me clarify that again.
Thank
Motion
you.
1 would be for the original letter as it stands, unchanged.
Thank you.
So if you want to include Mr. Hafley's amendment, vote no on motion 1, and then it would be a yes, then yes to motion 2.
Thank you very much. So I'll vote no.
Pardon me?
My vote would be no.
Okay.
Mr. Hafley?
No.
Mr. Hall?
No.
Mr. Lydiak?
No.
Ms. Pappas?
No.
Dr. Richard?
no.
Mrs. Solis?
No.
And the motion fails, 7-0.
Okay, can we just call for the second vote in this case?
On the
Okay.
second motion.
So, Ms. Berea, could you call the roll for motion 2?
Yes. Mr. DeWitt?
No.
Oh. Hold on, just, this is for motion 2, which is the letter with Mr. Hafley's amendment, just so that everybody's
This
clear.
is a letter with Mr. Hafley's amendment and with Mr. Hall's amendment?
No, mine did not get a second,
Oh. I see.
so it's only.
This is an
If you think you're confused, you ought to, yeah.
That must have been inaudible. I'm sorry. I thought we had...
So I'm sorry, it did not, did you second it?
I personally did not, but I didn't
Okay.
realize it had not been.
No,
I
it did not
apologize,
get seconded.
Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't hear that correctly.
So my apologies, Mr. DeWitt. So this motion 2 is the letter with Mr. Hafley's amendment.
Why don't we
And
have
that is
Teresa
the
read
only
the statement
other
again?
motion that we have at this time.
And that's it. It's the only one we
Okay.
have.
Why don't we
Thanks,
have
Mr. Hall.
And let's have Teresa read the statement again,
Okay.
just to be clear.
Teresa's going to
I-
read the statement.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Teresa?
So the last paragraph would read in full. We would like to thank Extraction Oil and Gas for working so closely with District 6, for being responsive to District 6 questions and requests, and for taking into consideration the safety and education of our students. Thank you for your consideration of this request.
Got it.
It was audible
May
to you?
May I tender my vote now?
Yes.
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Hall?
Nay.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Ms. Pappas?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
And the motion carries, 6-1.
This, having no further business before the board,
We have
We
to,
need to designate
who's going to
a
speak?
representative.
Or if someone chooses to make a motion for someone to speak in front of the commissioners tomorrow would be the next action the board would need to take, or not.
okay, so I'll call for either volunteers by motion or suggestions for who would deliver the letter tomorrow. Ms. Solis.
I make a motion that Terry Pappas represent the school board at the Will County Commissioners meeting tomorrow to read our letter into their record.
Second.
Being moved and seconded, is there any further discussion?
Thank you, Terry.
Yeah, thank you, Terry. Ms. Berea?
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Hall,
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak,
Aye.
Ms. Pappas,
Aye.
Dr. Richard,
Aye.
Mrs. Solis,
Aye.
and the motion carries 7-0.
Now, should we read the letter again in its entirety for the record, as it's going to be submitted?
need to.
Is there a need to do that? No? Okay. Being no further business, thank you for your attendance, and this meeting is adjourned.